In today's video, I'm gonna share 5 habits to start now or in the new year if you wanna become your dream self. Okay, so I am genuinely obsessed with habits, and there are about a million different ones that I could share right now, but for the purposes of this video, I've narrowed it down to the 5 most important habits that I found to be foundational for success in achieving all of my goals, whether that's health, happiness, fitness, productivity. I know we're all busy, so if you only have time to focus on a couple of things, even starting one of the habits that we talk about in this video can be seriously life-changing. I am way too excited. So let's get into the habits. The first habit I think will change your life is waking up early. If you're immediately suspicious, you're in good company because I spent years trying to convince myself that the 5 a.m. club was stupid, honestly. Unfortunately, the truth is there really is something magical about waking up early, and it's not about the actual act of waking up early or being up early in the morning. I think if being up early doesn't matter to you and genuinely isn't something that you enjoy, you can definitely substitute something here. But here's the key. I think it needs to be something that you cringe at the thought of, something that'll genuinely challenge you, because I've realized that the magic actually lies in the fact that doing something difficult every day will help build your confidence and your discipline. It is seriously so unbelievably powerful to know that when you decide to do something, you'll do it, even if it's difficult. That matters. For most of us, myself included, waking up early is actually a great one because it's definitely challenging, it's uncomfortable, there are gonna be a lot of times where you just don't feel like doing it and you'll have to push through, and it allows you to have a little bit of extra time before starting school or work for the day to focus on yourself and your own goals, so it's kind of like double dipping there a little bit. But maybe for you, it's like making your bed first thing in the morning, spending a few minutes meditating, taking a cold shower. Maybe it's pushing yourself to hit your step goal even if it's really cold or the weather sucks, or just pushing yourself to get your workout done first thing in the morning before you head off for the day. I think the key here is finding something and proving to yourself that you can do it. For me, I spent years and years saying, oh, I'm just not really a morning person. I don't need to wake up early. There's no reason for it. And when I finally just pushed myself to do it and try it out, it has been so incredible for building discipline, building confidence in myself. And I just feel amazing when I get a good night's sleep, wake up early. It starts my day on the right foot. I feel like I'm so much more productive. And that's something I never would have known or realized. And that's confidence I wouldn't have built if I hadn't just pushed myself and tried it. If something popped into your mind like, oh, there's something I've been avoiding and procrastinating that I know I would really enjoy or at least have been wanting to try out, I highly recommend placing that habit in the morning still, and here's why. In the first few hours of the day, our hormones are balanced in a way that we have a little bit more motivation and discipline to be able to push past that friction we feel to do more difficult habits. Research shows that it can be a lot more challenging to add in difficult habits in the evening or towards the end of the day. I know that when I've experimented with that, it just straight up never happens. Like, I've been trying to build a journaling habit for probably 8 months now, and I think one of the reasons why I haven't been able to build it is because I always schedule it in the evenings at like 8:30 at night before I go to bed, and by that point in the day I'm so cooked like I don't have any motivation or drive to start that new habit by that point in the day. So if possible, putting that difficult habit earlier in the morning makes it a lot easier, allows us to kind of work with our body instead of against it. Another simple but incredibly high impact habit is getting some morning sunlight into your eyes first thing after you wake. I know if you've been around on my channel, you're probably gonna start getting sick of hearing this. I'm gonna keep telling you because we can all be honest here. I know that most of you watching are not doing this. The reason I know that is because I learned about the science of this, and it took me a solid 6 months to bother trying it myself because the idea of going outside and walking around the block first thing after I wake up sounded really annoying. But here's the deal. Morning sunlight has so many benefits, it's ridiculous. It can help us feel more alert and focused throughout the day, improves our sleep, our mood, helps our body produce serotonin, otherwise known as the happiness hormone, and it positively influences our metabolism. And all you have to do is place yourself outside in the sunlight for a couple of minutes in the morning. We are not ever looking at the sun directly. Please, you will severely injure yourself doing that. We are looking around at the scenery. If possible, we're facing east where the sun is rising, but we are not looking directly at the sun. Key things here, you can't do this through windows or windshields. The wavelengths aren't correct for it, and you can't do it through sunglasses or tinted glasses. I personally like to go for about 5 to 10 minutes, and most days, as long as it's not too overcast or cloudy, that is the perfect amount of time to get the benefits of sunlight. But honestly, start wherever you can. Even just like 30 seconds, personally, I feel a lot more refreshed and alert after that. Promise me that you will just try, even for a couple of days, because once you start, you won't be able to stop. It is so easy and so impactful. The next habit is spending 5 minutes planning your day and setting your intentions for what you want to achieve. If you've heard this piece of advice 100 times before, that is because it's incredible advice. Back when I was in corporate, I used to do a lot of daily planning, and it's something that I definitely fell out of as soon as I left my job because I seemed to think that I was above it. And the truth was, I wasn't. When I got back into a daily planning habit and I started to set an intention for what was most important, what I wanted to accomplish that day, and really map out what a successful day looked like, it legitimately changed everything. I really like to think back to my kind of overall goals for that period of time and what I'm trying to achieve, what is most important. And then I like to pick my top 3 things that I want to achieve within that day. What is actually most important that I accomplished today? And I try as hard as I can to make those non-negotiable. In my opinion, achieving our goals is really made up of just hundreds or thousands of small steps that we take. It's not like you just wake up one day and run a marathon. It requires you to show up in small ways every single day for a long period of time, right? How much would your life completely transform if you could work on the things that were most important to you a little bit each day? In my experience, that is the power of the daily intention. I think a lot of times we have this idea that we're not efficient enough or productive enough, and focusing on that is what's going to get us better results. When really, I think it's more about making sure that we're using our time wisely and we're prioritizing the things that are truly important to us. Those small steps you need to take every single day to eventually get where you want to go. What if you spent an hour working towards your goals every single day? That would be 365 hours of focused time across the year, obviously. This is the interesting part though. That would be equivalent to 9 40-hour weeks. That means over 2 months of full-time work moving towards your goals, whatever those are. I mean, most of us can't just take 9 weeks off of school or work to just drop everything and work on building our side hustle or learning how to cook or working on our passion project. But maybe we do have an hour a day to spare. Now, here's the lesson that I have personally learned the hard way. An hour of dedicated focus time is completely different than an hour of half-assing it. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. We have all been there. You sit down at your desk to start studying for a test. Next thing you know, you're just browsing Pinterest a little bit. Then you're watching a video with study tips, which is like maybe helpful, but also like your test is tomorrow, so that's not really what you should be doing right now. Then you get a notification, you check Instagram a little bit, get a text from your classmate, you respond. Maybe you study for like 10 minutes, and then you look at the clock and realize, oh my gosh, it's already been an hour. I have done that more times than I would like to admit. One of the habits that has truly changed my life in so many areas is just being present and focused on whatever I'm doing. One thing I find really helpful is putting on Do Not Disturb on my phone and my computer just to kind of help protect my focus and eliminate distractions. Taking that block of time and just being really intentional with it and making sure that I was squeezing every last drop out of that time. So replace the focus hour with whatever amount of time is genuinely feasible for you. 15 minutes of sharp focus, in my opinion, is worth so much more than a couple of hours where you're kind of messing around and not really paying very much attention to what you're doing. Last but certainly not least, I am obsessed with doing weekly goal check-ins. Don't lie to me. I know that there's a little 10-minute slot somewhere during your week that you can sit down and do a little bit of planning. Again, for so long, I thought I was too good for this because I would think, I know what I need to do, so why would I waste time sitting here and writing it all out when I have it all upstairs? Wrong. I personally use a Notion template and I fill out kind of the same questions or prompts every single week. I like that because I just don't really need to think about it, and I think it's really nice to be able to personalize those questions to whatever you're working on or the goals that you're trying to achieve. Ideally, I think there should be some kind of roll up here. So each week you're checking in and you're thinking about what you need to do this week to accomplish your goals on a larger time scale. I find examples really helpful for this, so let's walk through a little example. Let's say that you wanted to get to 1,000 YouTube subscribers and that was your quarterly goal. And you decided the best way to accomplish that is by staying consistent and posting a YouTube video every single week. Your weekly goal would be to come up with a concept, film it, edit it, create a thumbnail and title, and upload it. And you can even break those down more granularly, like I need to have the script written by Monday and I'm gonna have the video filmed by Wednesday. I find those details and small deadlines really helpful, kind of breaking it down into smaller pieces. So you can kind of see the relationship there, how having that big overarching goal for a longer period of time, it's really helpful to check in on that more frequently and kind of break it down into those smaller steps. And I just find the weekly and daily planning just go so well together. I find that it is so easy to set a goal and then every day find a creative reason why I can't actually invest the time into it that day. I think that's what makes it so easy to avoid starting on our goals, especially the ones that are really meaningful and important to us that we care a lot about, because it's like, where do I even begin? I've been there, but trust me, there is no perfect step. There is just a step. What I try to tell myself with chipping away at my goals is like, okay, my to-do list is so long right now, it literally doesn't even matter what I do. I just need to do something. Whatever sounds the most fun or interesting or easy in that moment is an amazing place to start. And then each week coming back, checking in, seeing the progress you've made, and then what you need to move on to next in order to achieve that kind of roll up goal, whether it's this month, this quarter, this year, whatever it is. And that is it, the 5 habits that have absolutely changed my life. I really hope you enjoyed this video and that you maybe found some new habits that you want to try. This is actually the first episode of my New Year's video series. In this series, I'm going to be sharing everything you need to know to make 2025 the best year of your life. I love New Year's. It's such an exciting time, and I'm so excited to be going on this journey with all of you. So if you do want to focus on yourself this year, make sure to subscribe. I upload new videos every week, and I will see you next time.